In the glittering world of Hollywood, where every smile hides a story and every film carries secrets behind the camera, a collaboration once filled with promise would soon spiral into one of the industry's most shocking controversies. It all began with It Ends With Us, a highly anticipated film adaptation of a best-selling novel that had already captured millions of hearts worldwide. Fans were excited. Studios were confident. And at the center of it all stood two powerful names. Blake Lively, the charismatic star known for her elegance, talent, and strong screen presence. And Justin Baldoni, not just the director of the film, but also its leading man, admired publicly as a thoughtful voice advocating respect, equality, and emotional intelligence. On paper, this was the perfect match. The cameras started rolling. The sets were built. The chemistry seemed right. From the outside, everything looked smooth, like another successful Hollywood production in the making. But behind the scenes, something wasn't right. What the public didn't see was the growing tension, quiet at first, almost invisible. Subtle disagreements. Uncomfortable moments. A shift in energy that only those present could feel, but no one openly addressed. Then, whispers began. Small concerns, raised privately. Concerns that, if true, could shake not just a film, but reputations, careers, and the very image both stars had carefully built over years. Because this wasn't just about creative differences. This was something far more serious. Something that would soon explode into headlines, lawsuits, and a battle that would divide fans across the world. A story that would force Hollywood to look at itself and ask uncomfortable questions. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get more intense, the accusations came. What started as quiet tension suddenly turned into a storm no one in Hollywood could ignore. Behind closed doors, concerns that were once whispers became serious accusations. Blake Lively stepped forward, not publicly at first, but through legal channels, alleging that her co-star and director, Justin Baldoni, had crossed professional boundaries during the filming of It Ends With Us. These weren't minor disagreements. These were claims of sexual harassment, a hostile work environment, and retaliation after she reportedly raised concerns. According to her legal team, certain moments on set became increasingly uncomfortable. Situations where professionalism blurred and personal boundaries were allegedly ignored. And when she tried to address it, the response, she claimed, wasn't resolution. It was escalation. But what truly shocked Hollywood wasn't just the nature of the accusations. It was who they were aimed at. Justin Baldoni wasn't just another director. He had built an image, a carefully crafted public persona as a respectful, emotionally aware, feminist ally. A man who spoke openly about redefining masculinity and treating women with dignity. Which raised a chilling question across the industry. Was this a hidden reality? Or a devastating misunderstanding? The news didn't stay quiet for long. Leaks began. Insiders talked. Reports surfaced. And suddenly, what was once a private conflict exploded into a full-scale public controversy. Headlines spread like wildfire. Fans were stunned. Some immediately stood with Lively, praising her courage. Others defended Baldoni, questioning the timing and motive behind the accusations. Hollywood found itself divided. Because this wasn't just about two people anymore. This was about power, reputation, and the dangerous line between truth and perception. But just when the world thought they understood the story, everything flipped. Because Justin Baldoni wasn't backing down. Not even close. He was about to launch a counterattack that would take this controversy to an entirely new level. Just when Hollywood thought the story couldn't get more intense. It exploded. Because Justin Baldoni didn't just deny the allegations made by Blake Lively. He went on the offensive. In a move that stunned the entire industry, Baldoni filed a massive $400 million defamation lawsuit, turning a serious allegation into a full-blown legal war. This wasn't damage control. This was retaliation at the highest level. According to Baldoni, the accusations against him weren't just false. They were deliberately constructed. He claimed his reputation, carefully built over years as a respectful public figure, was being destroyed overnight. His career at risk. His image shattered in the eyes of millions. And the financial damage potentially catastrophic. But perhaps the most shocking part of his counterclaim was the motive he suggested. Baldoni alleged that these accusations were part of a calculated effort by Lively to gain creative control over the film It Ends With Us. A claim that added an entirely new layer of complexity to the case. Now, this wasn't just about harassment allegations anymore. This was about power, control, and influence in Hollywood. Two narratives, completely opposite. Two reputations, on the line. And only one truth, hidden somewhere in between. As legal teams on both sides prepared for battle, the situation escalated rapidly. Court filings grew more aggressive. Statements became sharper. And behind every headline, the stakes kept rising. Because if this case went to trial, it wouldn't just expose facts. It would expose everything. Private conversations, on-set behavior, industry secrets. The kind of revelations that could permanently damage careers, no matter who won. And as the tension reached its peak, the world was watching, waiting, choosing sides. But the real explosion was happening outside the courtroom. Because the internet had already turned this into something much bigger. By now, this wasn't just a legal battle anymore. It had turned into a global spectacle. The clash between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni exploded across social media, news channels, and entertainment platforms, faster than anyone could control. Every headline screamed updates. Every platform had opinions. And suddenly, the entire world had chosen sides. On one side, supporters of Lively praised her for speaking up, calling it a brave stand against misconduct in an industry often criticized for silence. On the other side, Baldoni's defenders argued something very different, questioning the timing, the intent, and the possibility of reputational destruction without proof. The internet became a battlefield. Old interviews resurfaced. Clips were dissected frame by frame. Body language was analyzed like evidence in a courtroom. Every smile, every comment, every past statement. Now seen through a completely different lens. But the real impact, it went far beyond these two stars. Because this controversy triggered a much bigger conversation inside Hollywood. About workplace safety. About power dynamics on film sets. About the thin and dangerous line between believing victims and protecting against false accusations. Industry insiders began speaking out. Some shared their own experiences. Others warned about how quickly public opinion could destroy a career, guilty or not. Studios started paying attention. Legal teams got involved earlier. And behind the scenes, one thing became very clear. Hollywood was watching and learning. But while the public debate kept growing louder, inside courtrooms, the tension was reaching its breaking point. Because a trial was coming. A trial that promised to reveal everything. Private messages, on-set realities, unfiltered truths. The kind of exposure neither side could fully control. And just when the world expected an explosive courtroom showdown, something unexpected happened. Something that changed the ending of this story. Without ever revealing the full truth. Just days before the courtroom doors were set to open, everything stopped. No dramatic testimonies. No explosive cross-examinations. No final verdict. Instead, in a move that surprised both the public and the industry, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni reached a private settlement. Quietly, quickly, and behind closed doors. The legal war that had dominated headlines was suddenly over. But not resolved. Because the terms of the settlement, completely confidential. No public admission of guilt. No confirmation of claims. No clear winner. Just a joint statement, carefully worded, measured, and controlled. A statement that spoke about awareness, respect, and moving forward, while leaving the biggest questions unanswered. For many, it felt like closure. For others, it felt like silence. A silence that avoided what could have been one of Hollywood's most revealing trials. A trial that might have exposed uncomfortable truths about power, behavior, and accountability in the film industry. But that truth will now likely never be fully known. And yet, the impact is undeniable. Because even without a verdict, this controversy changed Hollywood. Studios began enforcing stricter on-set rules. Intimacy coordinators became more common. Contracts started including behavior clauses. Legal teams brought in earlier than ever before. And perhaps most importantly, reputation became more fragile than ever. In today's digital world, a single allegation, or a single defense, can redefine a career overnight. Both stars walked away, but not untouched. Because in the end, this wasn't just a story about two actors.